All right, so my friends have been bugging me to make a video of this car now that it's finished. This is a 1985 Alfa Romeo Spider. I've done extensive work in the restoration of it, obviously, I think. Probably notice the front end is completely different. I sculpted that out of foam, took molds, laid up parts, put the parts on, 3D printed the V, and fabbed the grill, of course. Suspension, it has stiffer springs, Coney shocks, urethane bushings where it makes sense and not where it doesn't. Ventilated rotors, stock ATE calipers, but I've always found that the Spider had pretty good braking if you had everything working in order, so never really bothered me. This is 2020. My first Spider, I bought a 73 Spider in 75, and had a 58 Giulietta Sprint for a couple of years and a 64 Sprint. So I've had a couple of Alphas, most of them in the 70s. I got this one in 2011, so I've had it 9 years. Not sure. Well, it's got the a Monza cap on it. The rear end is also sculpted differently, so that's not another one like it. Muffler's hanging a little low, but we had a little issue with the mounting. The interior is all leather and wool carpeting. The instruments, Speed Hut, TAC, and Speedo. AEM engine instruments, all tied into an AQ1 data acquisition box with a GPS, so I can download my trips and look at all the telemetry, G-forces, all the engine telemetry, all of that, and follow it actually on the kind of a interesting thing is you bring up Google and you can watch your track. Now I did a lot of 3D printing. The fuse panel is one of the things I 3D printed. Of course the wiring has been completely changed in the car. Still working on some of it, as you can see down here. I've got about 1,500 miles since I rebuilt the engine and the transmission. The engine is, well, highly modified. That's about all I can say. I can go through the litany here. I guess Paul Sproul of Sproul Motorsports supplied pretty much all the parts. Starts with a 300 horse clutch assembly coupled to an aluminum flywheel. Sproul goes to a slosh tray in the sump, a windage tray below the crank. The crank has been obviously, really gone through, completely rebuilt and zero balanced along with all the other rotating components. Going up, we've got 4340 rods, H-beam rods, 10-to-1 forged pistons, big valves. I pulled more aluminum out of that head and the manifold and couplers than I've ever done in a porting job. Running ST1 Colombo and baryonic cams. What else? 45 DCUE Webers. 3D printed couple of parts down here for the ignition. Also 3D printed that fuse and relay panel over there. The air cleaners are 3D printed, as are the bowl vents. I've got one of the high torque starters on here, which is really nice. And I'm running the Alfaholic rigid couplers between the Webers and the Euro 2000 manifold. That's probably about it. I can't really think of anything else. You know, it's fairly extensive. But that's her. So that is the video, and I hope my friends are happy. So long.